What's up, everyone? It's Trey, aka the Amazon GOAT. And in today's video, I want you all to meet Steph, who is a full time mother and government employee who decided to create an extra stream of income selling products on Amazon. She's went from zero to $15,000 in sales per month in less than 6 months. And here's her full story and keys to success. What's up, everybody? Welcome in and welcome to another video. Here today, I have Steph, who has, started selling on Amazon, has had some, very great success so far on her journey. And I brought her on to, see exactly what she's been able to do since she's gotten started. And, basically motivate anyone who is interested in getting started themselves and ready to, take an online business to the next level. So, Steph, I appreciate you joining in. First off, for the people who don't know you, can you let us know a little bit more about yourself and how you got into selling on Amazon?
Yeah, sure. So thank you for having me, Trey. I'm a mom. I still have my full-time job, and Amazon was is something that, I was just looking for some like extra income, to come by. I love shopping, especially for a deal.
Right.
It really just came out of like curiosity. I was in the market for some sprinklers back in the spring, and I saw some at Home Depot, and I'm like, wait, I was gonna buy this on Amazon for like $22, $29,
Mm-hmm.
and they had it in Home Depot for $8.99, and I'm like, this can't be. Like I thought Amazon's the cheapest,
Right.
but and I just was like, all right, can this like be true? And then I went on to like looking into like several like YouTube pages and then doing my own research. Like, how could this be? Like, I thought this was like, like another big box store where, stuff is supposed to be cheaper.
Right.
But that's where I started. That's how this
Definitely,
all came
definitely.
about. That's how we're here today.
Right, right, right. So you wanted that extra income. You mentioned having a full-time job. Can you like talk a little bit more about that? Because I know there's tons of people, that are out there that, have full-time jobs but want that extra income and are sort of wondering how you can balance the two.
Um, So I work for the government, so it is something, that sometimes it requires me to go in, and then sometimes it requires me to just do it remotely.
Mm.
So I have a little bit of an advantage because I could do it remotely and I got dual screens and I'm looking at both and trying to work, but I'm trying to do
Right.
my own,
Hmm.
be my own boss. Um, and then, reality hit in when I made more than what I made working on
Mm.
Amazon. And I was like, wait, this is something enticing.
Right.
Like, how could I I'm doing it part-time, I'm doing it on my weekends, and I'm doing it after my 9 to 5. So it's just like, all right, so these little 2, 3 hours is getting me more than my 9 to 5.
Mhm.
So, like I still, I need it. I have a home, I have kids. So it's something that I can't give up just
Right.
entirely yet. But it could be possible that maybe within the next year or a couple of months, because the way it's transitioning into me making more on Amazon than I
Right.
do in my 9 to 5, it's crazy, you
No,
know?
definitely, definitely. And talk a little bit more about, that jump that you made because a lot of times, there is that special moment that happens where, it becomes reality. You see it for yourself that this is, not a scam. Because a lot of people see online businesses and people making money online and may think that it's a scam or whatever, or it's not possible. But talk
Right.
about that switch in your mindset, that turning point. where you made that amount in a day on Amazon and that sort of surpassed your 9 to 5 income.
I mean, it goes back to like I said, it was those sprinklers.
Hmm.
Um, they were $30 on Amazon. I bought them for $8.99, and I'm like, all right, I don't know how to use Amazon just yet. Uh,
Right.
I don't know how to use Seller Amp, but I'm just watching a boatload of YouTube videos, and everybody gives you like bits and pieces. So I start to put the puzzle together, and then
Right.
I'm like, wait, this is gonna make me $10 profit on a
Hmm.
$10 item. So girl math, that's 100%. Like, you know,
Exactly. That hundred
that's a
percent
100%
ROI.
investment. So
Right.
I went um and I bought like eight. And I think that at the time when I was hearing like eight is like the test buy.
Hmm.
Um, I bought eight. It sold out within 3 days. I'm like, wait a minute. Now I gotta go to all the Home Depots by me. So I was able to pick up like 50 units
Mm,
between amongst like maybe like I think it was like eight Home Depots.
nice.
Um, and then sell out and then not know what to do after. You know,
Exactly.
because I
Yep.
wasn't guided. It was just a bunch of YouTube videos, and I don't know how the phone knows that I did it, but then all of like these gurus start popping up, and then I'm
Right.
like, wait, who's real? Who's not? Let me see,
Right. Right.
you know?
No, definitely. I think for me, I sort of got started and I went to an Ollie's and saw that, these house appliances and I forget what the actual thing. I think they were like NutriBullets at the time. I'm seeing that they're selling for a crazy number on Amazon, and then right in the store, I'm seeing that it's like half the price at Ollie's, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I have to look a little bit more into that. So, but I think our sort of journeys align in the fact that we had that first product that sort of popped off for us, and then we sort of don't know the next step to take, right? So, talk a little bit more about when those gurus started popping up, and how were you able to, like, tell the real from the fake and stuff like that, and what ultimately made you make that decision to get some proper guidance.
Because it was there's a lot of unknowns, and
Right.
there's a lot of like tidbits that you're getting from YouTube, and like my thought process is like if I can learn from YouTube, that's it, I got it.
Right.
But there's other different, everybody has their own niche. And it was more like relatable, like who could I relate to that's gonna be on that same mindset that's gonna take me to the next level. Again, I played sports all my life. So it's just like I need a coach to get me aligned. So
Right.
then, I started looking up or it started coming up all over my Instagram. So I'm like, wait, the
Yeah,
phone
they
a
they
little
tapping in,
it's
they
a little
tapping into
wonky,
our
but
phones. They tapping into
yeah,
our phones
but
for
you know
sure.
what? It got me to seeing your page as to how it was through like Cassandra, it was through Rob, and I'm like, wait, I see them tagging him. Is this these are people who are I look to because they were part of another community, a free community that I joined. So it was just like, all right, if they're doing it on the free thing, it's got to be that you're guiding them the right way. So if they're doing big numbers, I can only imagine what he's teaching. You get what I'm saying?
Nah,
So it
definitely.
was more like that's what got me to like, all right, let me follow, let me see, let me fill it out for a
Right.
bit, and then, see, because at that point, I had sold the sprinklers and that was it, because
Mhm.
now I don't know what else. I didn't know, what I know now. Like
Right.
groceries is a thing,
Yeah.
beauty is a thing. I'm thinking
Right.
like, like as a consumer,
Hmm.
like I only get this at Target. I only get this at, Ulta, or, I only get this at Home Depot. So that's what that was my thought process because I'm thinking of from an aspect of a consumer. but now I
Right.
gotta get it out my head
Right.
and think,
And
like a boss. Like and
exactly.
I gotta definitely see like, all right, what inventory is selling, what's what are gonna be my niches, what do I know, and then I'm started looking through like my house, like my pantry, like what do I got?
You're
Like,
right.
is this
Mm-hmm.
profitable?
Mm-hmm.
And then just scanning everything and looking like, all right, Tide is in there, like Clorox cleaner is in there. Like these are
Right.
things that, I bought from Target and then I'm like, wait, but Target had a sale. And if I
Mm-hmm.
use this coupon or if I buy it this week, start looking at the circulars and I'm like, wait,
Right.
there's little profits everywhere. So that's what made me get to where we're at today, like in your mentorship and, looking for more and more niches and not just one.
Right. No, definitely. I feel like when people get started, I sort of recommend that you sell anything that's profitable, right? But as you start getting some momentum and making some sales and, really finding your niche and understanding the different websites, the different sales and coupons that you can use to, continuously rebuy and, resell these products, year round, that you sort of find what works for you, right? So I know you mentioned groceries and beauty. What were like some of the strategies that you used to start finding profitable products? Because I know at one point, you had the sprinklers, but you had to figure out what was next, right? So, what types of strategies did you use in order to start finding more and more profitable products and getting to where you're at right now?
So it would be honestly after really zoning in onto your videos in school is where it literally like made sense. I'm like, wait, I could do this all from my computer. Like I don't gotta go to these stores and start scanning stuff and spend 2, 3 hours, scanning, because
Right.
I mean it is fun to see like new stuff, but
Definitely.
it's also a bit time consuming too. So when I learned that you were using Keepa, I then bought Keepa because I was like, oh, I didn't know.
Hmm.
And I'm like $20, that's nothing.
Right.
That's like Starbucks for 2 days, 3 days.
Exactly.
And
I
I was
don't
like,
think
all right, we can
people
we can
don't
have
people
some
don't
home
understand
coffee.
that. Right. People
Right,
do
we can
not
have some
understand
home
it.
coffee for some $20 and it's gonna make me double.
Exactly.
So then, I really started watching all of your videos and that was it. Once I learned how to read and use Keepa and the filters, that was a complete game changer.
Yeah.
Complete game changer.
Right. And it's like so many people, I feel like, have Seller Amp and think that that's enough. By all means, Seller Amp is a goated software. I use
Right.
it daily, of course. But Keepa is just that small integration in Seller Amp. There's so much more that comes from Keepa the software in terms of allowing yourself to make an informed buying decision, so you're not just buying things blind and hoping that a product sells. Like there's literally real data that's out here that will tell you whether or not a product is going to sell, how fast it's going to sell, at what prices it's going to sell, and all of that. So if you're watching this, if you don't have Keepa already, definitely
Keepa,
go ahead and grab it. Like Steph
right.
said, $20 a month, miss out on drinking that coffee for a couple days and
Right.
invest into a software that can truly change the trajectory of your business.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Like and if you could learn all of but most of the filters, it will
mhm,
get you so much further. Like it was a complete game changer. Because when I joined your mentorship, I was still stagnant at the 3,000 marker, and it was just scanning random stuff at Marshalls and TJ Maxx and Home Goods. It was
right,
just like one or two because each store has one or two. Nobody has the quantity that you need to really scale. So you're really just getting bits and pieces of what potentially could be, right?
Right.
Then, I see HIPAA and I'm like, wait, but I saw this, and I saw this at Target and I can order to pick up. I don't even got to go into the store.
Right.
And then Walgreens that has the pickup. It's just
We
like
know
it's,
about we know about Walgreens.
we know about Walgreens. Like Walgreens don't even want to see my face no
Exactly. Nah.
clear them all out.
Right.
But it's just like it's following those filters and like really zoning, in on each one because now you get to see a picture of the product, the graph that goes with it, the buy box, everything that you do get on Seller Amp, but it's on a very small scale. So
Right.
that's another thing too. Like I didn't have much capital to even start with, like I got a mortgage, I got a kid, I got a wife. So it's more of like all of those things. I'm like, all right, I can't really spend that much into this. So I
Mhm.
have to make sure that this works. And the only
Right.
way of making sure this work is buying profitable stuff with the data behind it. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like
Mm.
when you go and buy a car, you're not like, oh, well, today I'm
I
just
don't
gonna do
care if it
big and
has
I'm just gonna get
300,000
this.
miles on it.
Yeah, let me get something with mad miles on it and
Right.
think that it's gonna ride okay. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's an investment,
Hmm.
but it's for me thus far. It's
Hmm.
been for all the right things, Like I started with $500 to see where I'm at now, At the 15th of the month, I was at 10 and I'm at 15 now. It's just mind blowing,
Mind blowing. Yeah.
If you
And
want similar results like Steph's and are looking for one-on-one guidance and mentorship to reaching your goals, you can apply for our coaching program and mentorship community in the link down below. But now let's get back to the video. If you want similar results like Steph's and are looking for one-on-one mentorship, if you want similar results like Steph's and are looking for one-on-one guidance and mentorship to reaching your goals, you can apply for our coaching program and mentorship community in the link down below. But for now, let's get back to the video.
and when did you get started? Just for people to understand like how long it took to get to where you are now.
So I did all of my YouTubing. I didn't
Mhm.
buy anything in April. I
April.
finally set up my account in May. I bought those sprinklers like the mid-May. So, I think that's not even 6 months, or we're in
Say.
6 months, we're in that 5, 6 month. And for me to scale um that quick with
Hmm.
so little, um, it's just a testament to one, the character of you putting, yourself out there and you like, damn, $500. Some
All
people are
right.
like that,
No,
and then
definitely.
now, I just blew like 2,000 on inventory and I'm like,
Right.
just fake,
All
I'll
right.
make
Just
it.
just take my money. Take my
Just
money.
take my money. Here's
I'm
the
gonna make it
card.
right
Just take
back.
it. I'm gonna make it right back.
Exactly.
And it was, and I think from a one-on-one we had together, you were like, you have to spend money in order to make money. And
Mhm.
that just resonated so deep.
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, it's true. Like I can't
Right.
keep on spending $500 a month and thinking that I'm gonna get 20, you know?
Hmm.
And then you go back to the keeper charts where it's just like, all right, I put in 2,000, I'm gonna make 6,000 off the
Right.
rip. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And that's all based off of data. And
Yep.
it's more of like if I could visually see the returns, I'm like, all right, I feel
And
good about the purchase.
right, it takes all the second guessing out of it. Like,
Right.
up front, when you see you're about to spend, 2,000 in your case, in your situation, 2,000, that's a big number, but it's like you have the experience, you have the data behind, spending that 2K and knowing what you're going to get back. You're reading, all the numbers on Seller Amp. you're looking in your, seller dashboard and making sure that you're not getting hit with any crazy expenses or anything like that. So um that is, a testament to you and your, work ethic and how much work you put in. To go from 0 to 15K a month in 6 months, is crazy. That is an outstanding accomplishment. And now I sort of want to talk about, that next level, in the scaling process, because that's exactly what you're in. You're scaling right now. So how do you take that 15K that you're at now? And I know every milestone we sort of hit, a bigger milestone sort of gets put in our head. So how do you expect, or like what do you plan to do in order to, take that 15K a month to, doubling it and getting to 30K a month?
Um, so it's more like I want to say eventually we'll get to like a VA.
Mm,
But I'm not just there yet. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
still want to keep all the profits to myself for the time being. Um,
Definitely.
because, I'm just now getting into business funding,
Okay.
and that's something I
Mhm.
didn't start with. I didn't have a company, you know, under my name or anything like that to even scale me. So
Right.
now it's just like, I'm building the business credit. So I know that that's going to come with, more assets or more money, cash flow to then spend and then to make.
Right.
So for right now, it's just more getting into, that business spending, those business cards, and, scaling it from there. And then eventually, I can't say I want to perfect it because you can never perfect it just yet because Amazon is just that wonky. But
Yeah.
it's something that I want to make sure that if I'm going to teach a VA to do exactly how and what I want to scale on, that
Hmm.
I got to learn it myself.
Exactly. Yep. That's a big thing. I feel like Um, a lot of beginner sellers, they see that, other people have VAs and they're outsourcing a lot of their, work to, other people or, and that type of thing. But the thing is, before you hire that VA, it is very important to learn it yourself. So you know exactly what to tell this VA. So you know exactly what to expect out of a VA. And, if they're not doing their job, cool. On to the next one. If they are doing a great job, cool. We're going to, continue working. And that is, you're able to really outsource a lot of work to a virtual assistant, for not a lot of money. We're looking at people that are based out of, the Philippines,
Mhm.
India, that, don't require too much per month, maybe $500 a month, where, it makes so much sense, because you're making that back, with the techniques and strategies that you have already known, already used. So it just makes a ton of sense. But I love the fact that you're working on that business credit, because it does. This is a capital intensive business, right? You have to spend money on products if you're looking to make money, right?
Right.
So getting access to business funding and business credit, 0% interest cards and stuff like that, is all a great process. But you don't want to get that too fast. I think we had a conversation about that, probably earlier on back in like May or June, where it's like you don't want to, get access to 20,000 and spend 15 of that, on the wrong products, because
Right.
that can backfire on you quick.
Right.
Now you've gone through 6 months of putting the work in, uh, perfecting the craft, using your own money. Like
Mhm.
it's totally different when you use your own money,
Yeah.
and grow using that rather than using other people's money, because you almost are more focused. You're tracking everything that you need to be tracking, But now that you have those strategies, those techniques, the right infrastructures and systems to, be able to get to those 30K months with that access to capital, once it comes, you're just going to be spending
Yeah,
more money on profitable products that you're going to be making money back on.
right,
So
right.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that. Definitely. So I think the last question I have for you is, if someone is sort of on the fence, they don't really know if Amazon will work for them. They think that they might be different from you in whatever, way or reason. What do you have to tell that person that is on that fence or, just a little skeptical about selling on Amazon?
Mhm. I mean, it would be again, it's something that, everybody pays rent. Everybody has a rent, mortgage. You're paying towards something. So to, be on the fence, it's got to be that you have a mindset that you're kind of like all in. It's like
Mm,
an athletic mindset.
yeah.
Like, it takes practice and practice and practice. And, like the greats didn't get where they're at without the practice. So
Right.
granted, you're gonna make, and there's items that, I returned,
Oh, yeah.
because they weren't good,
All
but I
right.
had that option to return it and, it was a bad buy. Um, but it's not something that I regret and I keep on perfecting and I keep on, putting myself with my back against the wall and then coming forward.
Mm,
It's that step that you take within yourself,
mm,
it's the potential is there. It's
right.
just now how quick are you going to how quick and how effective you're going to move forward. I
Mm,
feel like that's the key to like any success. Like if you were
mm.
building buildings, you know what I mean? Like you're not an architect out the doors. Like you got to be an
Exactly.
apprentice. You got to
Uh,
you got to know your
Steps.
your steps, your bricks. You got to know everything. Like what cement you're using, what steel. So it goes to anything, you know what I mean? If you're really wanting to develop, an extra income that just comes from 2 3 hours a day or maybe a weekend, it's an investment within yourself.
Right.
And that's where, mine stems from. And I feel
Mhm.
like everybody needs that little push, but again, it goes back to like how much are you going to push yourself?
Yeah.
Like I do a 9 to 5, I still gotta come home, I still gotta cook, I still gotta clean, I still gotta do laundry, I still gotta do all that homework,
All right.
all that stuff is added to my plate. And I
Mm-hmm.
still find 2 3 hours to source. All right, I'll look this up later on, or if I go to bed at 11 and I go to the gym at 5 in the morning, like I'm still doing those things, you know what I mean? Like it's just
Right.
how much of a priority is it to you to make the extra income,
Mm. Yeah.
and that's where it's at. So,
Exactly.
you put in those 2 3 hours and it makes you $1,000 or, it makes you $500 or $100 to start off with, like that's something you didn't have, you
Yep.
know? So it goes back to that. It goes back to yourself, believing in yourself. Um, One cool thing I got is that I have a garage and it's like loaded with stuff and
Right.
like I have like my daily affirmations. I have like my goals set up and every morning that, I go to the gym and I come back and I'm like, all right, let me pack up some stuff because I'm doing some FBM orders.
Yep.
Or, like I always give it a tap, like, all right, 15K, here we come, tap,
See?
and that like sets me off, and that's like, all right, I know I'm gonna get it. Cause
Right.
it's just those things that I do personally that helps. And I feel
Mhm.
like everybody just needs that inside, that extra help, from the community, from a great mentor. So it's all of those things combined into one
Right.
will get you off the fence.
Nah, definitely. I think basically, it's that mindset, right? It's either you have it or you don't, I think you are someone who told yourself, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all in. And if it works for someone else, it can work for, me, right? That's sort of the same mindset that I had. You talked about sports a lot. I played sports all my life as well. And it's like, no, you got to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have that mindset first of like, there's nothing different between all of these people that you see on Instagram, all of these people that you see building the business that you want. It's just the mindset that they had and the work that they were willing to put in. And once you can realize that, yeah, I think you staying on the fence does yourself a disservice. It does more bad for you, just watching from the sidelines. It's time for you to get in the game if you are feeling like you want that extra income, that you can do this,
Right.
because if we can, you can. So
Right.
um, definitely, Steph, I appreciate your time. Do you have any last words for anyone that's watching this? Any last words of encouragement, anything?
It's just, if you got it, do it.
Hmm.
Because, you know, there is no real second guessing, because at that point, you're second guessing yourself and your capabilities as as a person, as an entrepreneur. Like, you want to get out of that 9 to 5. I want to.
Right.
I want to. I
Hmm.
want that, I'm going to more sports games for my son. I'm going to more of like his activities. If I could free up my time, and kind of leave my 9 to 5. And I'm talking about, I got like a government job. So it's
Right.
just like, yeah, granted, like everybody wants to do it, but
Hmm.
is not. When you're in it, you're not. Like, the 9 to 5, you could do it for 20, 30 years. I think you posted it. You could do it for 20, 30 years. But if you put in that same discipline that you have for that 9 to 5 and that respect that you got for that 9 to 5 into your own business, it's sweet from there. It's
I'm
sweet
about to
from
say
there. And that's
super
what it
sweet.
is. It's just it's not, and even like for moms, you know what I mean? Like, if we put in that same effort that we put into our kids to make them better, right? If we
Hmm.
do that for ourselves first, sky's the limit.
Yeah, and I have to say this, if you are a mom and you're looking at this, our community, I don't know. I think we might have
All
the
the
best
moms,
community of moms. Like, I'm talking about, just women that are dogs that are out here working, hustling, like, just killing it in all aspects. We got Steph here who, like she said, has kids, has a 9 to 5, has to go to games and, everything that, you know, would be an excuse for somebody. She doesn't use those things as excuses.
right?
That just puts more fire into her, and
Mm-hmm.
allows her to reach the goals that she has, and create bigger and bigger goals as she goes along. So I can't wait to, see that progression continue moving. We got 30K, we got 50K, right there. You
Yes, right
have
there,
the
right
you
there.
have the techniques and strategies. I know once you get access to that capital, it's going to be up from there.
Right.
So yeah, I appreciate you coming on today, and anyone who's looking at this, definitely tap in with Steph. Where can people find you on social media?
That I'm bad at, but
We're gonna get that right.
we're
So
gonna
yeah,
get it right, right?
yeah.
I'm bad at, but it's on Instagram. It's Steph Flips for AMZ. Um, and my other thing too is, a good investment is the best thing possible. So learning from you, watching the videos, um, does wonders. You know what I mean? And it's not just you as my mentor, it's just seeing the videos from YouTube and seeing all of everybody and all these gurus. You have the patience and the just articulating yourself so that way we learn without saying, all right, here, put it in the cart, swipe your card, and then you actually showing us how to look for these products using the most I feel like the most underrated player of Keepa is mind blowing. You know what I mean? So, it's really kudos to you, and really reaching out, and those texts, the one-on-ones is really, 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 really that's where it's at. Because
Uh,
you need that body, you
yeah,
know?
no, yeah,
And I
definitely.
can't thank you enough as to, telling me, yo, spend the money, man. Spend the money.
Spin it.
Spend the money.
Gotta
Spend
spin
the
it.
money, spend it right, do
Uh-huh.
it right, get on these calls, learn a little bit, learn pieces, hear from everybody,
Mhm.
and it's more of your community. So you surround yourself by millionaires, you're gonna be a millionaire. That's my
Exactly.
thought process,
Definitely.
So we're gonna get there, and I thank you so much, Trey, for literally everything, man.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate you having or you coming on. And I enjoyed our conversation. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.